the first
Germany.
one?
Germany.
Germany. Okay, I'm in Bishkek. Rashid.
I'm in the Netherlands, in Rotterdam.
Sergey.
Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan.
Farkhod.
Abu Dhabi, United Arab Emirates.
Oh, Nigina.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm still in Tbilisi, Georgia. So.
oh, cool. Svetlana. But Svetlana is in Moscow. Ah.
Yeah.
Again, Rashid. Aygul.
I'm in Bishkek.
Yeah, and Katya. Katya is also in
Thank you.
Bishkek. Yeah, great. So many countries we have. And two chefs that we have today, they are Farkhod and Rashid. So with Farkhod, we cook Oshi Sofi. This will be really something really new for me because I've never heard about plov recipe where you have to boil the meat first. And with Rashid, we cook Namangan plov, right? You said.
Yes, precisely.
So now, two chefs, the floor is fully yours.
You can cook plov in any circumstances. Yeah, you don't necessarily need the kazan, the achak, and the open fire. And if most of us nowadays live in apartments with electric stoves, and that should not stop us from not cooking plov. So first things first, hopefully you have some kind of kazan, some kind of thick-walled pot. Also, as homework was sent out, I believe we have prepared some carrots, correct? Here in the Namangan style, I like to cut them a bit thicker because they will be fried. So I want to retain their sweetness and I want to feel the carrots. But if you cut them a lot thinner, that's okay as well. I also have some cubed beef in this case and some onions. So the proportions for me, I go from, okay, if I have 1 kilogram of rice, I will use 1 kilo of carrots, 1 kilo of meat, and maybe 1 onion, yeah? But I don't need 1 kilo right now, it's only the 3 of us. And 1 of us is 7 weeks old. So I will use 500 grams of each. And now, another point we need to discuss is oil. I don't know how many of you have the actual lamb fat, yeah, the traditional oil on which plov is made, like the kurduk, but I don't have it. We cannot get it in the Netherlands. So I'm gonna mix some oils. I have olive oil here, I have regular sunflower oil, and I have linen oil, linoleum maslо. So I will mix these three to make something tasty. So first things first, let's start the fire on high. If you have gas, start it very, very high. We will add the oils. We need about 150 grams for my proportions, for my half kilo. You might need less, yeah? Or more, it depends. But also, I'm not the one to teach some of you how to make plov. Yeah, we have some professionals here as well. So maybe you plug in. So we are heating the oil really, really hot, yeah? It's important as well, because I'm cooking a small amount of plov, yeah? Again, for 2 people to eat within the next 2 or 3 days even, because even this is... But if I were to cook, let's say, 10, 20 kilograms of rice, like we did for Nowruz parties at the OSCE Academy, I would use large chunks of meat. But because I'm cooking at home, I'm gonna use small ones, yeah? So just each spoon of plov will have a piece of meat. And for this reason, I will fry the onion first. So instinctively, we think we should fry the meat first, but that's not necessarily the case. If we don't fry the onion first, we might have a hard time browning it later on. And we need it to caramelize. We need it to have some color, to have that smell of Uzbekistan. So still a few moments left. Put the onion in. Oh, you can hear it already, yeah? This is the sound we need. It has to fry fast. Okay. Let's wait for it to caramelize. Oh, check it out.
Sounds really good.
Can you feel the smell?
Okay, so taking over, and that's the second version of the plov that we are preparing today. And I don't know how these 2 zooms are actually working in here right now. Okay, just whatever. So you take your kazan. Okay, take your kazan. Whatever you have. The first thing you do, you don't add oil or anything. So what we have done actually so far is that we have boiled the meat. We have boiled the meat.
Yes.
Right, so look here, and how does it work? Look here, we have boiled the meat. You don't slice the meat, you boil the meat as a whole cut. And I also very much like to add some ribs in there, you know, with some fat on it. It's really nice, right? So it adds some flavor and this tender, very juicy. It makes the meat and the entire plov very juicy, actually. And when it comes to slicing the carrot, it's a little bit different from what Rashid has just instructed us to do. Mine is, you know, it's totally different. I will share the instructions how I did this. I actually video recorded, but if you look at mine, they are really thick. No thing. Look, the beauty of Oshi Sofi is that you know, it's just you put them all layer on the layer and then you close it and then you wait for it. Okay, so it's going to be basically divided into two parts. First, you put this, whatever you have, kazan or anything, on the oven, and then you turn the gas on. First thing you do is you add the first layer of carrot.
Without oil, right?
Yes, without oil. Nothing, just the first layer of carrot.
In the meantime, I was ready to add the meat. So the onions, it's important not to let them burn. You need them to be golden, but not burned, yeah? Because otherwise it will be bitter and you don't want that. So this is the color we are looking for.
And now forget about Rashid and pay attention to what I am doing. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. First layer of carrot with my meat is that I'm going to make this very even slices. Something like this. Okay, and then I'm going to place them nicely. In there. Okay, done. And then we put our, what's that? Wherever, the stock.
Broth?
Broth, stock, soup, you name it. It depends. If you're making half a kilo of rice and half a kilo of meat, for instance, that's the average, then I would suggest you add just 1.5 centimeters of broth, okay, on the bottom of your kazan. Done. And then the second layer of the carrot. Second layer of the carrot. I'll put the remaining meat on the top. Second layer. And then you take your raisins. Put it on the top. Okay. Of course, you have to use this towel, right? And then you can just cover your kazan.
Okay.
Properly. And then leave your kazan, leave your casserole or whatever, frying pot, whatever you have in there for 20-25 minutes. You have to take another one. Okay. Fill it with water if you have, because we have to boil basically our rice in there. Okay. We have to cook our rice separately. Okay, Rashid, the floor is yours. Sorry.
Great, thank you. No, actually, Aminjonov, what Farkhod is cooking, it's a very unusual plov. It sounds really weird at first, but once you try it, you really get addicted. It's amazing. So I really hope you get inspired and try. And I'm glad Vika is doing that. It's the plov of the Bukhari emirs, you know,
there is a lot of history
for eating that. But so far, let me tell you what's happening here. So we fried the onion or caramelized them. We added the meat, and now we are waiting for the meat to also caramelize. It's very important not to rush because we want that meat to develop flavor. In the meantime, it's important to talk about rice. So normally, if I were to cook what Aminjonov is cooking, Oshi Sofi, I would use basmati, long grain rice. But for the Namangan style, I chose this Turkish rice. It's really similar to the type of rice we use in Namangan called alanga. So it's kind of like it's thick. It withstands the heat, and that's what I love because it will not fall apart. Yeah, in the kebab. So while we are waiting for the meat and so on, it's important to do a couple of procedures with the rice. We need to soak it. So I'm just gonna use, this is 1 kilo. I'm gonna need half of this, and I'm gonna soak it in warm salted water. Yeah, roughly half. I don't need to use a scale. It's not chemistry, it's plov. So rice, on top I use a generous amount of salt. I'm gonna change the thingy here so I have a generous amount of salt. Don't be afraid. The rice will take as much salt as it needs. The rest, it will not take. So we have some water here that is about 30-40 degrees. Yeah, you don't need boiling water. So it's been boiled and it's stood for a while. So this is what the water actually it might be even hotter than 40 degrees, but it's okay. So I cover the rice with this. But when I put my hand in it, it's not hurting me. So that's the kind of temperature I need. And now I'm gonna leave this rice in this water, in this salted water, basically until we need it. So forget about it for now. Okay, so the meat is starting to get color. That's good news.
Now add some salt. And then when it's boiled, wash your rice, add your rice, and then cook your rice, you know, when it's almost done, like up to 60-70%. It doesn't have to be fully cooked because it will be fully cooked inside your main kazan.
I see. Okay, clear.
You can even make it, you know, half-cooked.
Meanwhile, this is where we are at. You see, it's starting to get color. Maybe 3-4 more minutes, and it will be exactly at the desired state.
And this is Farkhod Namangan style Osh, right? So because it's different, in Samarkand and in Bukhara, you always use, you know, like a whole cut meat. When you use a bigger cut meat, you cannot first fry the onions and then add meat, because by the time the meat is cooked, onions, they will basically disappear. They will just, you know, fry out. So that's why you always start with the meat and then you add onions along the way. But
of course, use large chunks.
It's different.
Also, when you are cooking for a large amount of people, it's better to go with chunks of meat, of course, because if I cut meat in these kind of cubes for 50 people, the meat will disappear by the time the plov is done. You know,
Exactly.
It's a disaster. Also interesting to talk about some myths, maybe an interesting topic. I have cooked plov in various countries around the world, and it's interesting how usually it is surrounded by mythology, right? People have these kind of stories, which are usually wrong, about how to cook the plov. You are cooking it and somebody will come and say, I heard somewhere that you should never mix any ingredients. So people are hearing bits and pieces. Or somebody said, I heard somewhere that you should never add water. In fact, I knew a guy who thought that you should never add water. So what he did was he put onion, meat, carrot, rice, closed the lid and turned on the gas. That was a major waste of products. So it's interesting how many myths there are. So,
actually, in the meantime, there is truth in it. You shouldn't add water. Once you add water, you know, and then the rice starts sucking up the water. Some people, they look at the rice and they feel like the rice needs a little bit more water, and then they start adding a little bit more water, and then they feel again that the rice needs more water, and then they start adding a little bit more water, and then in the end they get shaula, which is kasha instead of plov. Right? So that's why people say you add water and you don't add water once the rice starts sucking it up. So yeah, maybe the guy just got it wrong.
Good point. Exactly. They hear bits and pieces, and then the fundamental picture is wrong. So I'm satisfied with this color. I'm really satisfied. Check it out. The meat is nicely caramelized. Wow. On the gas stove, this is as much as I can get. Trust me, this is gas stove. This already is a miracle. So the meat is caramelized nicely. Check it out. Oh my God. So I have salted it. Now I'm gonna add a bit of cumin. And here I have this cumin that is already powdered, which is fine, which is just fine. It smells great, just like the one you would get on the bazaar in Fergana or Namangan. So I want to add a little bit of cumin here. We are gonna save some for the carrots as well, but I wanna add part of cumin to flavor the meat and to flavor this oil. So that's it. Let's not let that burn. Let's add some carrots. So we put the carrots, and in Namangan plov, you mix the carrots. You mix it. This is not Bukhara. This is not Samarkand. This is Namangan. So you mix the carrots, and we mix. We want the carrots to release their sweetness.
And by the way, here is the tip. Never use all the carrots. Say something. It's like semichki, you know. While cooking, you can always, you know, eat your carrots.
This is what you do, right?
So now we just wait to loosen up a little bit. Do we have any updates from the field? Новости с полей. У кого что происходит? What's going on as far as your plov is concerned?
Frying, thing like this.
Nice, looking good.
I guess that's good.
IPD, what's going on?
I added carrots.
Satisfied with these carrots. Let me show you, because you see, they have loosened. You see, they have loosened. They have released the sugar. The sugar is out here. It's amazing. It smells wonderful. That's all I need from them. I am going to pour some water in here, and I need to bring this to a boil. And I'm gonna slowly cook it. I'm gonna simmer it for 45 minutes. Why is it important? Once again, if you are using beef or lamb, with the chicken, it might be a different story. Why it's important to cook this for 45 minutes? Because we want clear stock. We want beautiful, clear stock. Because when our stock or broth is clear, it will be absorbed by the rice nicely. If it's not clear, the rice will be sticky, but that's not the result we're looking for. So one more update. So I put it on low. I need it to simmer this way. Now, if you have garlic, now is the time to put whole garlic cloves in here. I don't have garlic, because also, if you are using garbanzo beans or chickpeas, nut, no hot, if you're using the one that is not from the can, but the one that you soaked overnight, now is the time to put it. Mine is pre-cooked. It comes from a can. I don't need to put it here right now. It will disappear. I will put it later, okay? So at this point, let me once again walk through what we did. We had 3 oils. We caramelized the onions. We added the meat. We added the carrots. We allowed the carrots to release their sweetness. We added salt. We added cumin. We added water, and we let this simmer for 45 minutes. Then we will add the rice. Our rice is already being prepared. It is soaked in warm, salted water.
But I have already my rice like 60–70% cooked.
Which is good. Great. Now take your rice out. Take it out, and then you can add zira. Теперь ты просто разложи этот рис, открывай казанчик.
О, там уже красиво.
Открывай казанчик.
И раскладывать поверх, да?
Да, и просто разложи ровненько поверх. Oh, that's it, that's it. Now just close it.
Without any water,
Просто
without any broth?
Да, просто закрой. And then we are moving to our final stage. And actually, usually you have to have, you know, equal proportion of meat, rice, and carrots. Like 1 kg, 1 kg. Ну, Софи, надо брать, как говорят повара и сталик, в частности, самое лучшее масло, которое есть дома. Возьми подсолнечное, вот в железной чашке какой-нибудь, его надо будет очень сильно раскалить, да? Так прямо, чтобы горячий кипятком стало. Налей туда.
Okay, Namangan Plov, how are we doing? What's the status?
Boiling stage. I added the garlic, but I'm not sure about the peppers. Like, should I add now or not?
Are they fresh? Are they dry?
I have those fresh eggs.
Okay.
Yeah, fresh.
They are kind of fresh, so you might want to add them when you put the rice, when you close the rice. Just warm them up. If they were dry, we put them in the stock, they absorb the water and kind of loosen up a bit, okay? Fresh ones you can add with the rice.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Piri, what's going on?
It's boiling slowly.
Okay, good. Is the meat getting tender?
Yes.
Here we go. This is what we have with the zirvak. I want to add a little bit of water. So you want to have some boiling water handy when you put the rice. And it's a good opportunity to wash off our spatula. All the flavors are on it. Why do we want to put them to waste? Put them back into the stock. And now I need very high heat. So I'm ready to put in the rice. And I need the rice to be boiling really, really hard. Why? Because it will also break the krahmal. So the starch, that effect that in Buhari plov they achieve by pouring hot oil on top, here we achieve by boiling in very hot stock. Plus, oil is lighter than water, so it's on top. I will have very hot oil kind of go through the rice. So basically achieving kind of the same effect, but through a different means. This rice I'm gonna now drain. I will wash it. Anyone else ready for this stage?
Yes, I'm washing, draining the.
So, great. I'm just putting rice on top. And this is where, remember that friend I told you about who said you should never mix anything? He's kind of heard this part. So when you put the rice on top, you don't want to go ahead and mix the entire plov. You let the rice cook on top. And what makes plov a plov, so again, how do we define plov? Is when one definition is that it's rice cooked in 2 phases. First, you boil. Second, you steam. Plus a little bit of oil, flavorful oil is needed. And I need the highest heat.
All done?
It looks really, really nice. I haven't tried it, but I looked.
Okay, then you have to open. It's cooked. You don't have to wait for everyone. It's just, you know, open and mix the rice on the top just a little bit.
Okay.
Let the steam go. Otherwise, it will continue, you know, cooking itself, and then it will get overcooked. Okay, just mix the rice a little bit.
Tak, Namanganci. We have the rice. Check it out. So the rice has now set on top of the carrots and meat. And I want to add a little bit of salt, and I want to add just a little bit more cumin. If you have the cumin in seed, do it like Farkhod told you, yeah? Between the palms of your hands, you kind of rub it to release the flavor. So now the idea is to only mix the top layer. You see, the rice is just sitting here. The bottom part is getting access to water. The top part does not. So we want to make sure that we, every now and then, kind of flip it around, yeah? Нужно его перелопатить, but very, very carefully, and only the top layer, so that every grain of rice gets a chance to absorb this delicious zirvak, this stock. And you see the oil on top, just like I said, hot oil. It will prevent the rice from being sticky, and it will make it fluffy, just like we want it. If you feel like your water is absorbed too fast, which is what I feel right now, then we will do the following. I feel like the water is absorbed too fast. We need only boiling water, hot. It's really important. If we put cold water right now, we will destroy our attempts to kill the starch. So I'm gonna boil the water again and pour just a little bit, just a little bit. Is actually the hardest for many, because oftentimes you can go through the entire process and do really nice with the meat, with the onions, with the carrots, you know, create a delicious zirvak. But then if you destroy your rice, all of your efforts will kind of go out the window. So it's really important to be focused, not be distracted. High heat. We can poke holes also. You can take a wooden tool and poke the holes to the ground here, to the bottom of the pot. Well, you achieve several tasks at once here. You let the steam out. You prevent the bottom layer from burning in the meantime, and you contribute to even cooking. So,
a question. Do you do this from the very beginning, or do you have to wait for the rice to suck this water just a little bit? Because in Bukhara, we actually wait for the rice to suck this water, and then we see if the water is still there and the rice is almost cooked, then we make those holes so that this water would basically evaporate, you know.
Yeah, but right now I'm also going through my circumstances. I'm cooking in a thick-walled wok on a flat gas stove. I don't have flames of fire going around. The only element I'm heating is the bottom. So I want that hot water to go up as fast as possible and as much as possible. So I want to poke those holes. They will bring the hot water and the hot oil on top, and that's what I need.
I have 4 minutes to go and I am done. In Bukhara, you first put the rice and then like the first layer. And then on the top, you place the carrot. And then since you have your meat as a whole meat, right, the whole cut, then you cut your meat into smaller pieces and then you place them on the top. And then you get like some sort of a pyramid. Okay? Yeah.
I felt like we need a little bit more salt on top of the rice. So not salted rice is not tasty. Keep that in mind. We've salted the carrots, we salted the meat, but we didn't salt the rice. Yes, it was soaking in salted water, but it doesn't mean that it will take all of that salt, like I said. Okay, if anyone is using garbanzo beans, in fact, this is an ideal time to add them. Again, they are cooked. I only need to warm them. Yeah, but if yours were soaked, you should have cooked them already in zirvak. So I'm just going to add them right now. They are cooked. They are done. I don't want to destroy them. So I just want them to be one with the rest of the plov at this point before I close the lid. Some of my meat and carrots are coming to the top. That's fine. We don't need to worry about it. It's okay. As long as we are not mixing the entire bottom, we are in good shape. Now, once again, let's poke some holes to the ground here, to the bottom. If you want to, you can also add barberries, barbaris, add izium, but you don't have to. So it's really up to you. With the tavuk plov that Niginahon is making, with the chicken plov, I really like to add some dried fruits. It goes really well. I'm gonna make this kind of a gorочку, a little pile, a little, nice shape like this. Now, once again, I wanna poke some holes to the ground here, so that extra water, any additional water is released. You already see how fluffy my rice is. I have a little bit of cumin left here. Why let it sit in this cup all lonely? Let's add it here. And now we need to cover it. I will show you how we do it. We need the thermos effect. To reach the thermos effect, we need a plate first. So I have a small plate here. I will put on top like this. Boom, done. Second layer, I have a clean towel here. Beautiful clean towel just out of the laundry. And I want to put it here. Now on top, we put the lid. And this way we have created a thermos effect. And the rice is now steaming.
I think our plov is ready, and then, yeah, at least we can start not eating, but showcasing.
Yeah, I just want to see the final result, how it will look on the plate.
Exactly. As I said, not eating, we'll wait for you, just showcasing. Just talk to us. Так. Опа. Вот так. Пахнет очень вкусно. Будем накладывать по-бухарски. Сначала один слой сверху риса. Потом снизу достанем мы нашу морковочку с мясом. Ага, герой. Вот такая у нас морковочка.
Красная, да?
О,
У нас
красота.
желтая.
Длинная. С изюмом. Морковочка у нас. Пловчик.
Looks great.
Наш.
Amazing, amazing.
Party, online eating party. So I think it's 1:45 and I'm ready to open this little number here. So we go in layers. Take the first top layer off first. Be careful, a lot of hot steam will be coming out. Oh, don't burn yourself. So now let's take this plate. Oh, you see the steam, beautiful, very nice. Up, up. And with the Namangan style plov, you're expected to fluff it. So we are not serving it in layers. We are serving it as one whole. So we do want to mix it. We want that bottom layer on top. You see how fluffy, beautiful it is. Oh, let each rice grain open its, how do you call them? Крылья. Open its wings and fly. You see? Beautiful, just amazing. I smell home. I smell childhood. I smell celebrations with grandma. It's crazy how smells can be so nostalgic. Okay, I'm gonna put the phone back because I need to fluff it nicely. I need to fluff this little number. Wow. Oh my God. This one, it will be nicely contrasting, I think, with the golden plov that we have prepared. So I will serve it on this nice little lagan. And again, when we are serving, we need the plov to kind of jump. Yeah, be careful. It will be maybe a mess here. Maybe a couple of nuts will run around the nohots, but it's fine. It's all worth it. So let it fly. Oh, вот это красота. Я тащусь. Of course, usually we would put a little crown on top. Yeah, like the garlic and some peppers. But like I said, today we are cooking for, let's say, a family with kids. So it's okay also not to put peppers and garlic. It's just fine. We will achieve some color with the salad. So we have those Karabalta style cucumbers that we bought in the Netherlands, and beautiful tomatoes grown in a greenhouse, but sweet nevertheless. So that's it from me. Who else is ready? Aipiri is already serving. Aipiri, please tell us, how is it going?
Oh, looks fantastic. I also have a quasi-traditional plate here, and I'm serving on the special for plov. Okay. this is a historical moment for me as well, because it's the first time I'm cooking with ayva here, and I'm adding it now on top. I took it in the beginning from the kazan. Okay.
Maybe I can show. Mine is ready. Okay, so it's just, can you see?
Yes,
Yeah,
we
Looks
can.
We can see.
Yep. So I used the, oh, sorry. Wait, like this. I used Uzgen rice and yellow carrots, and the rest is just pretty much I followed Rashid. So I learned some new things from Rashid today, from you.
That's great to know. What kind of new things are good?
Like you have to fry onions first. So I never do that. So I tried that today. What else I did? I added salt to my rice. So I also never do that. So that's, I think that helps. And I added some beans, nuts. Okay. All right.
So that's sort of fine, but it's
Wow.
white. I don't know why.
But yours is actually the richest for ingredients. You have garlic, right? You have red pepper and you have lemon.
Yeah, sort of.
And some
This-
chocolate over there. That's also nice.
Niginahon looks amazing.
Yeah.
And with the lemon,
Thank
that's
you.
wonderful. Wow, beautiful. And the color of your rice, can you show it again? It's just golden.
Ah,